We humans come with these vulnerabilities, and there needs to be also people who have a certain innate ability, an acquired skill and experience in being able to understand it.
I think the agency really helps people have lives that are much more fulfilling and much more productive for society as well as for themselves and their families.
In a way that it's about being human, it's about connecting with people on a very human level, there but for the grace of God, and to be able to celebrate the fact that we are all in this together.
Unfortunately, we've increasingly moved as a society to a place where if you're having troubles, that's your problem and no one else needs to be concerned about it. And crisis and counseling is an exception to that rule, that pattern. There's a very strong sense of needing to be there for people when they're in trouble.
We enjoy coming to work. We enjoy the things that we do because we know we make a difference. And I think you have to have that quality to work in this field. And I think this agency really promotes that idea that we're all here for not really ourselves. You know, it's just a benefit that we get to work in a job that we love. But in addition to that, we're helping our community to be better.
We meet new people every day. And I just like that when I leave at the end of the day that I know I did my piece to help somebody, even though it's just like when they walk in and, hi, how are you today?
Everybody knows they have a job to do. There's always somebody there if they need a little help. There's somebody right there to step right in.
The word team can become kind of cliche, but that's what it needs to be here. It needs to be all hands on board, because if it's not all hands on board, the work's never going to get done.
I think that's what it takes to be in this sort of career, is the willingness to want to help people and put yourself second and them first.
I think very few people can end their workday knowing that they truly helped to save someone else's life. And I feel like here at Crisis and Counseling we do that. We save people's lives, we help to get them on a new direction in their lives, and really help to turn the corner for some people.
Not only the desire to be helpful, but also the ability to recognize that in helping others we help ourselves. That we all realize that we're part of this. We're no different than many of our customers and consumers, and in many ways.
It has a lot to do with people in the community caring about other people in the community, but more than that, having the tools to help people in trouble find a better path.
You can actually see the difference every day. And there's nothing like having a client come in and say, what we're doing is actually helping, and you're making a difference. And oftentimes we have to remind them that you're the one making the difference, we're just here for you. And so to be able to help people is just an amazing kind of gift.
We look at our community and say, what are the needs? Where are people struggling? How can we help, and how can we best meet that need for the people living in the community, the people working in the community, and serving in the community. So I think that we're always cutting edge, and we're always trying to really look at our community and see how we can help.
What I really have loved about the agency, what has made me stay for so long at the agency, is I really appreciate how it gives back to the community. I appreciate its roots. When I first started working here and learned about the way it originated with what they called Rap and Rescue, which is kind of how Crisis evolved from.
It was a bunch of hippies hanging around having a good time. I think there were 4 crisis beds, they called them, and basically that's when the staff would usually sleep overnight.
So Rap and Rescue actually began as a storefront in Hollowell, as an offshoot of a local church in Hollowell. I think it was called Crossroads. It's kind of a coffee shop, a place to stop by and hang out with people.
I think what they were trying to do was make it sound cool. A rap center, there was a whole time, this is when, back in the early 70s, would talk about rapping as a way of, it wouldn't talk to people, it would rap to them. So it was a way of making it casual and informal. It became very casual and very informal, but what are we going to call it? We can't call this place Rap and Rescue. I can't put that on a business card and go and try to present myself as a professional to the community. So, we said, what do we do? Well, we do crisis work and we do counseling. Well, there you go.
Chris had begun to really professionalize it, and it was transitioning into a much more professional organization than it had originally been.
In general, the atmosphere at Crisis and Counseling has always been professional, but with a fair amount of humor and kind of lightheartedness. People don't go deep into doom and gloom or act like whatever we're doing, it's so important that no one can really understand how important it is except us. People are prepared to laugh at themselves, and I think that's an extremely useful quality in order to connect with people.
Everyone steps in the door and has to put aside whatever they have going on at home and going on in their personal life or the last call or the last client they had, and fully invest in someone else and invest in the moment that they're in. And that's really what we look at, is the moments. And they do an amazing job. I can't think of anyone who doesn't come in here and invest 100% every single day.
I think we maybe make change in people's lives that we may never even come across, that son, the daughter, the husband.
If we work with, let's say, 500 people over the course of time in our mental health outpatient program, how many other hundreds of people are affected by those 500? Maybe thousands of people. And to be able to celebrate that we're a part of something bigger than ourselves, something that is now 45 years and growing.
Kudos to the person who's coming in and walking up to my window and saying, I'm here because I need help. So I think, if we're able to offer that help, they're the ones that are doing the work, because they're, stepping up, knowing that there's a problem and saying, I've got to do something for myself, for my family. So I guess I'm just grateful to be a piece in that path for them.
We're bombarded daily with troubles and difficulties and struggles, and I don't think they hear enough how important they really are and how much of an impact they make in this community.
Even though they may not find their names in the newspaper as a star, that each and every one of them is a real star to many, many people. And that without them, the tragedies and the sadness that would exist in the world would be much greater.
Crisis and counseling means opportunity.
It's a beacon of hope. It's like a lighthouse.
It's not a lot of jobs where every once in a while someone will stop by and say to you, I just wanted you to know that you saved my life. And that carries you a long way.
Where are we going to take it? What are we going to make of it? This is our chance. This is our opportunity, so that in the future people are going to be looking back at us and saying, what were they doing in 2015? And hopefully we can hold our heads high and say, this is indeed the good work that we were doing.